back in the line today and come up with a nice female otter. We're going to do a little skinning video on them. Give them a little brushing over. Caught this one here on a beaver crossover. Sitting there with a 280. She run right head first into it. So first thing you want to do is you want to come right up the center of the paw. Otters are a pretty thick-skinned creature. Come right up, just in front of the vent. And right up the other side of the leg. Say, they're a pretty thick-skinned creature. Now you want to come back around the skin around the vent. Get that all freed up. Then you want to come up the middle of the tail, because you're going to have to skin this tail out. Tell you, this girl here, she's got some smell to her. And this one here, it won't be going to auction. I'm going to get this one tanned and have it hanging in the shed. Let me get some paper towel, wipe that up. It's a lot like a mink. They got their scent glands there right by the vent, one on each side. You gotta watch out for it. And we're going to start skinning up the leg. Saying, take your time, don't put holes in the pelt. Otter at one time was one of the most prized furs on the market. It's not so much the case now, but it's a shame really, because otter's got some of the nicest fur going. So bring her right up to the foot. Skin her back. The otter's got a lot of stuff going on here, so they're a little harder to skin. But we'll get them swapped out with the other leg. There, got that leg freed up. otters seem to have a lot of fat and a lot of gristle right around the base of their legs. See, they're fast little buggers. They slip and slide. Otter is one of them creatures, you set your trap and you leave it. It's not like a beaver. They don't make the same route every time they come through an area. It's not like they do the same area every day. So now I get my little stick. And just give them a pull. Pull that hole there. Tried to take a video of the remaking the set for this guy, this otter here this morning, but I'm not very technology inclined. I forgot to hit record, I guess. Oh well, what can you do? I think I hit record, but then I was using my pack basket as a phone holder. So maybe I'll get her on the next one, if I get another one. Going right to the leg, take the other one. There. So now we got to get that tail and get that tail pulled out of there. The otter's got a pretty beefy tail, so you're gonna have to work it down. I usually just take my wedge knife and I'll go right down the center of it, and then I'll skin it back. And you can give her a pull, she'll come down. Now you get her to this part. You just wring the tail, get your tail puller. You always got to make sure you get your tail puller. Now when you do this, you want to leave this hand stationary and pull with this hand. There you go. Then you take your tail stripper and then just work down the center of that tail. There you go. So that's the hard part. Next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take these paws off. And there's a joint in there. It's right behind the pads. Toss that on the ground, get the other one. Now you just work the hide down all the way around them. Pull what you can. Don't worry about the fat, you'll scrape that off in the fleshing process. Sometimes you can pull an otter, sometimes you can't. All depends on how cold it is and how long it's been sitting there. Just make sure you're still in frame here. Yep. Here's another trick I'll show you. Otter's got that long tail, and you don't want to get poked in the eye. Just cut a little hole in his leg, and then bring that tail around and stick it in the hole. And depending on how your tail works, it might go, it might not. This guy here's got a real stiff tail for some reason. There. That'll stop that tail from flopping around and hitting you in the face. Say, otter's one of them animals. I got a lot of respect for an otter. So when I catch one, I tend to take my time and enjoy skinning it, because it's, like I say, it's one of my favorite animals to trap, and I think it's just one of the cooler animals, I guess. Now, the one thing you want to be careful of is you want to make sure that this fur doesn't get too hot by rubbing your hands down it too much, or you don't want to singe that fur. It's not such a big deal right now because I'm going to get it tanned and hang it in the garage, but if it was going to auction and you were trying to get big money off it, or in today's market, any money, you definitely want to watch that and not singe the fur. And you just keep working it down, inch by inch. So here you can see we're at the shoulders. And here's the arms. Some guys will pull their otters. They got a machine that they hook up, and I'm not that fancy yet. Maybe someday I'll get there. See, so there's one arm, there's the other arm. So now you can pick them up a little bit. Say, otters are they're a long old creature. Just use your thumb if you can and get behind that fur. Might be easier to use your knife. Just keep peeling them layers back. You can feel it. Might be able to get my rod in there. There we go. Give that a pull. Say otter's not an easy animal to skin by hand by any means, but try to get you so you're in the camera here. This guy's a little cold. He's been hanging out on the floor of the shop here all morning. There she comes. There. Pop that arm through. Our otter's got a pretty short arm. Poked again. Find that flap of meat just above the, there we go. Give it a tug. There. Then we got that all dealt with. So now we're into the neck, the back of the neck here. Remember, whenever you're skinning, you don't want to be cutting into the pelt. You always want to be going up into the carcass. Leaving a little bit of meat on the hide's not going to be a big deal. You know, otter's got some pretty small ears. Right there in the back of the neck. Sorry, the base of the neck, sorry. We're going to come into its ears here shortly. There's its one ear. Here comes the other ear. Remember, you want nice small ear holes. Bring her down. Work her down nice and slow Don't poke any holes in the face, because you're going to lose value on that. Remember, trapping's all about the fur. It's not so much the carcass. Coyotes are just going to eat them anyway, so. Now we're coming into its eyes. Here's where a lot of guys will rush it, and then they'll get great big eye holes, and it's not what you want. And at this point, you got that whole hide pulling down on this little bit, so you give her an extra little bit of a tug there, and then it'll show you that white line that you need to cut. So here's we're getting into an eye here and an eye here. Now there's his mouth. Her mouth, I should say. Don't be afraid to use that mouth hole there as a spot to hold on to. Coming into the mouth hole on this side. There you go. There's that mouth hole on the other side. And then just simple enough, follow the bone. You get to that nose cartilage, and that's where you're going to cut her off. And that bottom lip's no good to you. Cut that bottom lip off. So there you go. There's your skinned otter. I say this one will be on display here at the shop. Not a huge otter, but a nice one. Nothing wrong with that. Alright guys, till next time. See you later.